downtown Detroit. Local 4 News starts right now.
Well, with female pop culture icons breaking records, you could say it's girls' time to shine.
Here in Metro Detroit, a publishing company is now helping female writers shine.
Well, the movie Barbie smashed records this summer. Tours by both Taylor Swift and Beyonce became cultural revolutions. The buying power of women finally getting the economic attention it deserves. But what about books? A Metro Detroit writer wants to empower female authors, and she's taking matters into her own hands.
When I see that something is missing, I figure, well, how can I fill that void?
After writing 8 books, Lynne Golodner launched her own publishing company. She just released her first piece of fiction, aptly called Women of Valor.
And I realized that I do have some power, and I have a vision for how I want my author career to go. And I also don't want to compromise my writing or my storytelling to make somebody else money.
Lynne's publishing company, Scotia Road Books, is geared toward female authors over the age of 40.
And that's really important, both the age as well as the fact that they're strong. Because strong women, a lot of people don't like that, and they can feel really alone in the world, and yet there are many of us. And so we need to have that support, that community, that collaboration. And I also think that midlife women sort of take a back seat to younger women, and yet they have all this knowledge, experience, wisdom, passion, and it just needs to be on the page.
Budding authors like Dr. Catherine Morris say a publishing company focused on female storytellers is a game changer.
Having an outlet like Lynne that's really dedicated to putting forth voices from women who've had those life experiences, whether it's raising children, whether it's in a professional workforce, I think is going to add a nice little special sauce to our field.
The former surgical oncologist and professor is writing her first nonfiction book about the medical field, but navigating agents and publishers and the business of books has been an uphill battle.
It's a challenge, I think, for any writer, any artist to put their work out into the world just as a baseline. And I think putting your work out in the world as somebody who historically, may not be recognized as someone with something to say or something exciting to say is a challenge.
Scotia Road Books hopes to level the playing field by diversifying the gatekeepers, deciding which stories are released to the masses.
That they choose whose voices are even heard. So there historically have been mostly white voices, mostly male voices, and we're missing out on most of the stories if that's the case. So we really need to change that. We need to add diversity to the industry in every way. And not only women, but women of color, women of different ages, with different stories. We need to hear all of them.
Lynne says she's working on cultivating confidence and a spirit of collaboration with her authors while busting the literary doors wide open.
My whole life, I've been told that I was bossy and I have a big mouth. And I think that I had to relearn, well, maybe I'm a leader and I might have a strong voice. And, the words we choose to describe ourselves and each other are really powerful, and they can limit us or they can free us. And so I've spent decades unlearning those words and choosing new ones. And now I help other authors do that.
And Scotia Road Books is looking for up-and-coming female authors. The goal is to publish 3 books a year. If you'd like to flex your creative writing skills, we have info on clickondetroit.com.
What a great idea.
Right?
I think you should write a book now.
Oh, I mean, it's such a hard process, and that's the one thing that when you're navigating it, when you're first starting out, like self-publishing is an option, but it's so challenging. So it's great to see, you got to build that network, and that's what she's doing.
Somebody to help you just with those first steps.
Yes, exactly.
Great idea.